Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. It's nice and early in the morning on a weekend, so I figured, if I was going to try and come on and do a video, I would just do it when I have to, go someplace anyway, and that happens to be today, so yay. But I also wanted to do this delightful VR to, I think it's Thea at Garden Goddess Tarot and Meg over at Rose Honey Ritual. And the VR is only 10 indie decks. So that's a hard one for me. I decided I have so many indie decks in my collection. So I'm going to go between like a combination of the ones that are, I decided to just stick with only tarot indie decks. Yeah, I could have included so many oracle decks as well, and sometimes you just have to cut it off somewhere. I definitely have more indie decks in my collection than I do mass market, although when I sat down to try and figure out, okay, what would my mass market decks be, that also was just challenging. It was just challenging. So anyway, that's that. I just gave myself that little parameter, just tarot decks. So, and there's no way to know how to start, so I'm not going to say that I'll kind of tell you how I use the decks, and we'll just go from there. So the first one, it's just right in front of me. It is, I think there's a rule about like, don't pick decks that aren't available. I'm just going to do this anyway. I don't know. I'm sure I don't know. Anyway, it's hard to know, right? It's hard to know. The first one on my list is the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot. And I will say that this is a deck that I use a lot. I kind of got it on a whim, and I paid a small fortune for it because it came from Australia, and it was a sort of last resort. I did not participate in the Kickstarter, so it was just once she had them available, I just went in and got it. It is a delightful deck on every level. It is very reader friendly. The book is extraordinary, and of course, the artwork is impeccable. And I love this fool so much, I can't even tell you. So, yeah, one of my favorites. It's one that I reach for a lot. It's starting to wear a little bit. I try to remember, like, you can't just abuse it because it's not feasible to get a backup copy of it, and I do love it, and I do use it a lot. So Avalon, Cameron, if you're watching, you would do the world a great service to do another printing of this deck, because it is, I know it's a headache. It is one of the most delightful decks I work with, and I really love it. So I hope it's allowed to do that. I hope that's allowed. Okay, and second deck. This is another one that I have read with pretty intensively and love reading with. Oh my God, the Numinous. It's the Numinous Tarot. I was like, oh no, I can't remember the name of it. It's the Numinous Tarot by Cedar McCloud. And the backs are so beautiful and stunning, and their artwork is marvelous. This is one that, I don't know, it just always makes me smile and feel happy, and I love it. It's deep and intelligent, and obviously it's also very inclusive. God, this is one of my favorite cards. So the suits are a little different. We have the suits in a lot of these decks are different. I did not say what they were in the Bonestone either. I believe it's the same. I think they follow the major suits as we know them. Bells is swords, so this would be 7 of swords. Candles obviously is wands. don't know. I have them so like integrated. I don't even really think about the suits anymore because I know what they are. Ooh, that 10 of bells. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let's see. Oh, it's vessel, vials are, and tomes. Right. So tomes, I love that. So it's like a whole suit based on books instead of pentacles. Yeah. And I can't say enough about it. I'm pretty sure, 99% sure that this one is fully available. You know, it's that moment when you want to participate, but you don't have the time to do all the research or the editing. And you just kind of want to play with everybody because you miss it so bad. Okay. So there we go. And the 10 of Tomes is the library, where there's wisdom and intelligence and knowledge and facts that are, you know, back when facts were factual. So yeah, love this deck. Love, 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 love. Easily one of my most used indie decks, for so many reasons. And yeah, one of my favorites. Okay, so there's that one. I'm getting through all the wrapper decks here first. So this one is also wrapped in a cloth, and it is, I think, probably, in my opinion, one of the most exquisitely done indie decks I have ever had the pleasure of working with. And I've said that many, many times, and it is the Dust to Onyx. And it is another of my most treasured decks. It is not an inexpensive deck, but it is absolutely, I think, worth it on every level. I really feel that way about indie decks. I don't have a lot of disposable income at the moment to be purchasing indie decks, but because I kind of need to do things like replace wardrobe, you know, yeah, healthcare, things like that. But I mean, it's just exquisite, and I feel like I'm not really getting a chance to do it justice with the way that this camera is working. But yes, I use this one for a lot of different personal reflection readings. This is a deck I work with mostly for myself. I have not used it with any clients as yet, but I use it a lot for myself. It is a very trusted voice, and I use it for a number of different readings for myself when I'm working. Among them would be yearly when I do Kwanzaa readings for the week of Kwanzaa. I have other decks I use for Kwanzaa as well, but this is my favorite. It's easily my favorite. And this last year, I think I did all but maybe one of my readings for Kwanzaa with this one, because it's just, I love its voice. It has the most extraordinary voice. I don't know why the moon is upside down. Why is she upside down? Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, and it's a voice that I trust. It is blades. We have the 7 of blades. We have coins. We have, let's see, what are the suits? Coins, blades. I think they're all pretty obvious. Staffs, that's another obvious one. And gourds, right? So paying, you know, honoring the use of gourds as vessels in African tradition. So yeah, it's just a beautiful one, and I have it in a brocade and silk wrap that I made just for this deck. So it stays wrapped in here when it is not in use. And then let's see, where do I go next? I'll just keep going in order. So my next one is one that was made by a very dear friend of mine that I have not been in touch with nearly as much as I should over the last few months and years, or, you know, the last little while. It is the Medieval Sigils Tarot, or the Sigilla Mediaevalia, and it is by Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. And it is an intuitive deck entirely made of sigils. And it is an indie deck. It is available on I believe she still has it on, I want to say it's on the game one. What is the name of the game one? I can't think of the name of the game one. I'll have it for sure in the box. So it will definitely be in the box so you can click it and order it. It is a delight. She uses runes, as you can see, astrological symbols, angelic writing, and so on, as language to create the sigils that carry the meaning of each of the cards, major and minor. That one's one that uses, angelic writing, obviously, I think they're pretty obvious, right? And then working with them, I was always amazed at, and am always amazed when I do work with it. I usually work with it alongside another tarot deck just to kind of deepen the reading and perspective, or like when I stack tarot and oracle together, because it reads so beautifully with other tarot decks. So, highly recommend. I have not worked with this one with clients. Again, this is usually one that I use only for me. And it reads like butter, pretty much with all of my other decks. Maybe I should use this one with clients. I just never have. I usually need to do, I prefer to do those kinds of like fun, whimsical readings in person. And it was so long that we did not do in-person readings that actually the cafe where I used to read closed. I mean, the venues, all of them that I used to read in, there were only like 3, were all closed. A couple of them never reopened. So yeah, there we are. So the next one is also in a box. I don't use it very much anymore, which is too bad. It really makes me want to pull it out and read with it more. It's the Apparition Spirit Speak Tarot deck. I do love it more than her other tarot decks, I will say. It is, here's the backs. So the backings are delightful, and it still smells so good. Yeah, Death card. It's just got such a beautiful use of sketching and just symbol to create the meaning of the cards. And I really love how kind of simple and innocent, there's just so much depth in there. And the longer that I study and have studied tarot, the more depth I find in it. I'm gonna have to pull this one back out. It was a staple of my reading cycle, ones that I worked with regularly for a very long time. And then I realized, like, okay, I have so many other cards I could be using. Let's pull out some new decks and be working with those a little more deeply. And so it kind of got put away for a while. But I feel like maybe it's time to pull it back out of hiding because it's so delightful. Ooh, I love that one so much. Yeah, it's just such a cool deck. What is the name of this? It's Mary Elizabeth Evans. Yeah, she created this one in 2018. I think I got it in 2019. And I have worked with it and used it ever since. Again, it got put away for a little while because it was like, nah, you gotta work with some other decks a bit, right, with clients. But it's always kind of a winner, like, and also, another thing that, like, if I'm doing readings, like a lot of them all day, or doing a lot of them online, or on the lines, which I don't do much at all anymore, honestly, if I don't have to. Very different style of reading, very different type of client. Although that said, I tend to get pretty serious clients when I'm on there, where like they have genuine. Everyone has a genuine question. They tend to have, what am I saying? They have deeper questions, right? So when I have someone that has deeper questions and they're like life path questions, those I tend to be best at answering. I'm not as adept at answering the really quick ones, right? I can when I'm in the rhythm of doing that, but I have not been in the rhythm of doing that for a while. So it would seem that the universe does not send me clients that are not attuned to that, which is great. Anyway, moving on. It is always easier to work with decks. If I only have a one reading, using the bigger, chunkier decks is easier. But if I'm doing a lot of them, cardstock becomes a thing. So the next one in the pile here is the Gentle Tarot by Mari in the Sky. I do really freaking love this deck so much. I know this is on 1,000 lists of people's indie decks, and it's also on mine, and I think it's for good reason. It is, it's just exquisite. There's really nothing I don't love about it. It does have a wonderful way of reading for people. So, you know, it combines humans and animals and nature and is based in her experience of living in Alaska as an indigenous person. The borders are colored based on the suits with, I believe, the, come out here, there we go. Yeah, the purples are all of the majors, right? So where you see purple, you get major, or a major. She has renamed some of the, oh, I love that death card. Look at that. She's renamed some of them. So thunder is the suits are renamed. So thunder is swords or air. Water, I believe, is cups are cups. Wands are wands. Oh yeah, the courts are different. But I mean, none of it is particularly, you know, it's not, oh, and stones instead of pentacles. But none of it is, you know, if you know what the suits are and you know what they represent, you're fine. You know, you're not going to have any trouble adjusting or adapting. I don't have the big guidebook. I do have the little one that comes with the deck, or that came with the first printing of the deck. So this was from the first edition. I know there are other editions that have come out in the time since. I do not have those. I do love the deck, but not, although she does have one that's linen cardstock, which would make it easier. Might be something to consider. But yeah, it is, just thinking that one through right here while we're talking. But yeah, it is, you'll get everything you need. If you're a beginner, you'll get everything you need from this guidebook. You would also get it from the larger guidebook, I'm sure, as well. And I think she does have those available. Again, if I have the time, I will do the research and put it in the box below. It's just been a lot lately. It's been a lot. It's getting easier. It's getting lighter. It's getting better. It will get a little darker and harder for a little while coming up, but it will all be okay. There's so many things going on. The next one, let's see. I'm just going to go in order. So the next one is, I don't know if this one will actually make a lot of lists. It is the Yokai Tarot by Buboplague. And I will say, I don't use this one a lot, which is too bad. But when I do, oh, it is the greatest delight on so many levels. Oh my gosh. So it is, first of all, the most beautiful. You cannot see how exquisite, but you can hear it. You can hear how exquisite this cardstock is. It is gilded, but it is a linen finish cardstock. It is nice and light. It is papery. And the way that the images come through is, it just, you could not have chosen they could not have chosen a better format for this card, you know, for these images. Because the printing process, I think, probably does the greatest justice to these images that you can imagine. So it is a Shinto-based Japanese-style deck, and you do want to know a little bit about each of the little guys that are in here, you know, the yokai, and the guidebook does offer enough really to go with. So, for example, this is 2. Let's find it. It's not a 2. What am I looking at? It is. It is a 2. It is just a 2 of bowls. Or cups. It is cups. So it's not the 2 of something else. Okay, so this is a pair of... See, I don't use it very much. A pair of yokai often seen together fishing. Ashinaga Tanaga has long legs and will carry Tenga-jin on his back, who grabs fish with his long arms. So one of them is called Ashinaga, and the other one is called Tanaga. So those are the names of the 2, and that's how they go together. And so they go fishing with long arms, and one carries the other on their back, right? So that's your 2 of cups. They're buddies. They stay together all the time, etc. So the more you know about each of the yokai, the easier it is. And I did for a while work with it and kind of get more familiar with some of them, which made them all make sense, you know, as to why different ones were chosen. But you need the guidebook until you've got it all kind of figured out. You really do need the guidebook. It is one of the most delightful decks. It does read beautifully once you know it. Or if you're open to working with it. I freaking love this one. It is a little bit challenging. It's cheeky, it's cute, it's funny, and it kind of just adds another dimension to the tarot when you work with it. It's not one I really just kind of used it for my own readings, and worked with it on my own for fun. I haven't done any really serious, hard-hitting readings for myself with it. It's more like one I go to when I want to play, or I'm feeling playful, it's also the sensory thing. It's just so delightful to hold and touch and work with, and it does read really, really well. The next one on my list is the Luminous Void Tarot by Laura Zuspan. This is also a deck that I really only read for myself with because, I do my own work with it. It is just the most ungainly deck ever. This is a first or second. God, it still smells good. It's a first edition. Yeah. First edition Luminous Void. I believe the second edition was the one that she made that was like a lot more holdable and shuffleable. This one is hard to shuffle, even overhanded. Part of it is because it is it's rose petal finish, and we know that as beautiful as those are, and I do love it, they are not the easiest in the world to shuffle. The backings of this card make my heart sing. The appearance of this card also makes my heart sing. The fronts. They are utterly, utterly delightful watercolors. She's also a Tibetan Buddhist and Zen Buddhist practitioner, same as me, although I tend mostly to be a Tibetan Buddhist at this point. But the more I have practiced within the Tibetan tradition, the more I see different principles of Dzogchen in here, which is exciting and, really, really exciting and kind of beautiful. And I don't know if she necessarily intended some of it, but I more openly see it there. This one I can read for with clients. Usually it's only like if I'm doing a couple of Etsy readings at the weekend. I would not take this one to an event probably because it would just be inconvenient. I'm very fussy about shuffling and the way that I shuffle, and lately I've started to wonder if, in order to expand the number of cards I use and the way that I use them, I do wonder if what I should start doing is doing the old pick up the deck like this, kind of cut it a couple of places, pull out like 1, 2, and 3, something like that, because it really, it would make it a lot easier read with a lot of different decks. It's, I see Tarot Oracle do that on a regular basis, and, I kind of think like, actually when you're working quick, like that might be the way to do it, instead of the kind of very, very fussy, slightly obsessive way that I have of shuffling cards. I've never been let down when I've changed shuffling styles for a while or changed up that ritual. It has never been a problem. So I'm expecting that it wouldn't be now. But, you know, you can see that, like, it's unshuffleable, like, riffle-wise. I don't think I've ever tried shuffling it. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of do it from the sides a little bit like this, but it's not great. It's not ideal. The smaller version of it, I think, is a lot better, but I have the original first. I've never really felt a need to get the second edition, you know, when, again, you know, there's so many other... I'm not so married to this deck that I need another edition of it. Let's put it that way. But I do love it. And it has been fun to read for both clients and for self with. Next deck that I'm going to pull is another one that I think is on a lot of lists, which was really delightful to see. It's the Pholarchos Tarot by Carmen Sorrenti and published by Arnell Art. I got this one in 2018, not long after it had come out, 2019, after it had come out, and it was just sort of an instant favorite. I used it a lot right away and worked with it a lot, and I thought, okay, I'll put it away for a short time because I want to work with some other cards, you know, and other decks. And every time I pull it out, I'm like, why? Why did I put it away? Because I love it so much. You know, you just kind of like, in order to rotate through decks and really work with them, you do, if you have a big collection, you kind of have to put some away for a while or just take a break in order to come back. The suits have different names. And as you can see, there's a big stylistic difference between majors and minors. So the minors are sketchier. The majors are more like paintings, and it makes it very easy and straightforward to pull out and understand right away. So coral is obviously, it makes it easier to understand right away whether you're working with a major or minor, right? Coral is the suit of cups, right? So that's 6 of cups there, basically. That kind of makes sense, right? Yeah, on the 2 of coral. And the fusion between it, there is the 10. So beautiful. Hierophant. Wonderful. Yeah. The Fool. I've always loved this Fool card. The aces, I believe, are Lovers. The aces, I think, are black and white, or is it the pages? It's been a hot minute since I've had this one out. But realistically, yeah, it's the aces. Realistically, were I to, is it not that one? No, it's the it's a different ace. I have a magnet that Arnell put in with my package at one point, and it's it's the ace of coral, but it's the color version of it, and I love that. I get the concept. I get why she chose not to colorize those. Oops. And I kind of wish that they were in color. Yeah. You can see how much I love this, and I've missed it. The ones that I really missed because I haven't worked with them as much, I'm really like wanting to sit with them. I need to pull this one back out. I'll rotate somebody else back out of rotation and pull this one back in. That Tower card is what sold me. Because I had purchased, I think I bought the Dark Goddess Tarot from her first, and then she had put in like a sticker or something in there with this on there, and it made me go, oh my god, I have to have that deck. Yeah, because I had an immediate resonance with it, and I still do. And I loved seeing so many people doing deep dives into this one and working with it. It just makes my heart sing. It's got such a depth and beauty to it. And I really love it. Okay, so that would be number 9. So number 10, honestly, number 10 could have been all, or any, honestly, of my, I'm just going to show them. They're not officially the ones, right? But it could have been any of my Robert in Place tarot decks, right? Because they are so exquisite. So we have the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery. It could have been that one. It could have been the Alchemical Tarot of Marseille. Or it could have been the Tarot of the Alchemical Magnum Opus, right? However, of all of these, I am going to say, because these two are they are derivatives in many respects of the system that he set up, that follows his own alchemical tarot system, and that is the Alchemical Tarot Renewed. Now, you would think, wouldn't you, that having one version of the Alchemical Tarot Renewed would be enough. But was it? No, it was not. And this is my pick, by the way, the Alchemical Tarot. And I'll tell you, it would be either the renewed 5th edition, which I believe you can still get on his website, and it is in order because studying. God, it smells good. Here are the backings, so not easily reversible. Woo! Hello, it goes flying. It really wants me to play with it, and it's missing me because I haven't been working with it because I've been working with the Buddha Tarot. I have not used this. Oh, no, I have. I have used this one with clients. And they love it. Oops, there it goes. They do love it. I do keep both lovers in as he recommends because, as he puts it, they have completely different energy. Completely different energy. Chariot, of course. So again, he's using his own system, which is exquisite and based in profound research, profound practice, understanding, etc. And I really love that. So let's see. Let's get to some of the minors. Here we go. There's your three of Swords. Yeah, and we get some. There's a Knight of Swords. Yeah, King. Ooh, there we go. There's some bunny rabbit action, etc. So yeah, this one is just delightful, and it reads. I mean, whether you're working on your own spiritual path or you're working with a client, it doesn't really matter. You're going to get one of the deepest, best, clearest readings that will tell you on every level, mundane and otherwise, what's going on. Now, that said, when I found out what the difference was in the 6th edition, and I'm just going to say any Alchemical Tarot that you get, whether you get the old out-of-print mass market editions, whether you get one of these editions in a trade, etc., whether you buy them from his website, you're working essentially with the same deck. I would also argue that you're working essentially with this deck when you work with the Buddha Tarot, right? Which is now mass market once again, thank heavens. You know, this is... I had to get this one. I had to. Oh, God, it's so pretty. This one I have not really worked with so much, a little bit. But it is also, again, back in order because see also study. It's silver. And it's the Blue Sky edition, right? So instead of having the, you know, the sort of papery color on the backings, you get this color. It's also blue on the back instead of green. And it's just marvelous and exquisite. Again, I'm not, you know, it took me a hot minute to really appreciate and love his artwork and his style. And honestly, I don't think I would have learned to appreciate Robert in Place had I not really been that interested in learning the Buddha Tarot. And when I realized how much depth there was and really dove into his work, I just completely fell in love with him, and I want to read everything that he's ever written, along with, you know, having a copy of every deck he's ever created. And here is the big reason why I wanted this copy. I do love the blue. but I don't necessarily love it that much more than I love the green edition, the 5th edition, right? with the sort of papery, warmer feel. What I was interested in was this card, the Truth card, because this came from a dream that Rosemary Ellen Guiley had, I think back in the 90s, about Hermes Trismegistus coming to her in a dream and telling her what the 22nd Trump really is. And it's this. And I won't tell you everything about it, but that said, it did make me completely, I don't even know how to put it. I had to have this version of it. Rosemary Ellen Guiley is also, I should say, someone whose work I completely love and adore and appreciate. She was a paranormal researcher and psychic, and the two of them used to collaborate a lot on books and various things, and tarot decks. And she published, I think, some of his books and published some of his, did the art. He did the art design for some of her books that they collaborated on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Some of her books and books that they collaborated on. Yeah, I'm just so excited. Can you see how excited I am about this? So, yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. I would not want to be without it. And if I had to choose one of his decks out of the I guess it's 4 that I have here, it would be, it would be one or the other copy of the Alchemical Tarot de Marseille. Or, sorry, Alchemical Tarot. The Alchemical Tarot renewed. So, so that's it. So those are my picks. This did not go on nearly as long as I feared it would. So, yay! So there we go. And I hope everyone's well. And I hope to see you again very soon. Actually, you probably will see me again soon because I'm going to do the top 10 mass market as well. So very exciting. All right, folks. See you again soon. Bye.